Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Oh, Nick, no.
Oh, the muted intro.
I
Wonderful.
set you up. Welcome, everybody, to the Undrafted Uncensored and now unmuted Nick Archuleta.
Undrafted, uncensored, unmuted.
Right when I put my hand down. He
was ready.
I was
wonderful.
Players on Undrafted Uncensored. I was all happy. And then my hand hit the keyboard.
You know, Nick, I will say, you might want to hold on to that middle finger you had up to me a little bit earlier, because you might want to use it a little bit later on. Just keep it around, because it might come in useful. At one moment later on. Just not saying there's something coming for you, but I'm much like the CU Buffs. We coming.
Are they though? Are they though?
Technically, yes.
You know what? Let's do this. I mean, Colin's already feeling itchy, and I got time before the ball game, and I'm going to a ball game anyway, so that'll calm me down after I'm done. But are they? I don't think so.
I mean,
right, preach.
Go ahead.
The transfer portal hit them pretty hard. Yes, they have Shedeur. Yes, they have Travis Hunter. But I don't see a whole lot of improvement in that Buffalo's team. I mean, maybe 2 more wins. Maybe it gets them to 6. Maybe that gets them to a bowl game. I don't feel like they've done enough to really grow this year. And, I mean, Prime seems more about flaunting his boys than he does about really winning.
Joe, you had started. Yeah, go.
Sure. No, I was telling Nick to preach. But, yeah, that's honestly, though, that might end up being okay. Like getting to a bowl game, it would be disappointing because we wouldn't get to see Shedeur Sanders in the new playoff format with the 12 teams. I think that's your best chance you've ever had to make a college football playoff is now because of the whole 12-team thing. So that part would be disappointing. But to take this team from Carl Durrell led, was it 1 win to a bowl game in 2 years? Like, yeah, obviously there's a huge infusion of talent, but like that would be okay. I don't know if it would necessarily be enough for the fan base here that's really hoping and expecting for a lot more, but that, I might end up being with you, Nick. I just don't know if I think it's that bad.
Well, you mentioned the 1 win. The one win was also a very lucky 1 win at the end of the game where Cal screwed. I want to say it was against Cal. They screwed it up at the end of the game, so the CU got lucky to win that game too. A playoff or a bowl game berth would be a plus, a step in the right direction. Nick, you mentioned, he's about Shedeur. Shedeur. Yeah, I think that they are on their way. Really what it is going to be is how do these guys handle success or what looks like should be success early on. I mean, and then they have the mental leap or block, whatever it is that you want to say about the CSU game in week 3. They got to get past North Dakota State, not look past them. They have to go against Nebraska, and then they have to go against CSU. All games that, on paper, CU is better than and should win. All games that CU is better than. Yes, on paper. I haven't been working 17-hour days or anything like that lately.
No, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm sorry I brought that up, Colin. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going through my head and all the scripts that I've had lately. But when you look at CU, on paper, yeah, they're better than those teams, and you can argue with me about CSU because of last year's game, but talent-wise, they're a more talented team. Are they?
Yes.
Are they more of a team than CSU? No, probably not. CSU is much more of a family team. I mean, how many seniors does CSU have? Like 13 seniors on their starting roster, something like that.
Yeah, they got a good number this year.
So when you're looking at it as a squad, at the transfer portal, yeah, CU lost some guys, but honestly, the guys that they lost, they weren't playing anyways. And when I was hearing some of Prime's press conference, I heard a little shot taken at him saying, well, you got to keep those guys that you bring in. It's like, well, the guys who are here that are going to play are going to play. Yeah. And that was kind of his shot back at the guys who are gone. So I'm 6 wins. Will they be part of the college football playoff? No. Is it possible? Of course. Kevin Durant, anything is possible. Yeah, it could happen. But they're playing in the Big 12. So the Big 12 that has 16 teams all across the country, including the Bearcats. Yes. I don't know. I don't know what to expect of this team this year. It is. It could be literally a 2 or 1 win season possible. If they get off, if they started the season by losing right away, to North Dakota State, like what their egos could be shot. Everything could be it could be an utter blow up. This coaching staff has no college coaching experience. They have some pro coaching experience, but they never coached college kids before.
Sorry to walk on you, Colin.
No, you're good.
Pro coaching experience is, it's generous for Pat Shurmur.
And I don't think Prime understands how quickly this fan base can turn on you because, even if you are Deion Sanders and you're in here to change the world, this fan base is not going to stand for it. If you come in with touting you're going to be bowl eligible and, all these cotton candy clouds and candy cane light posts and everything. And
it's Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Start season 1 and 4. That fan base is going to turn on you real fast and they're going to expect answers. And you better have some damn good answers because right now, what you're touting is you're touting the next big Alabama, basically. And we all know you're not.
I might have some kids from that area, but you are not there yet. And the other thing you mentioned, the fan base turning, you're not playing at Coors Field, all right? The best bar in Denver is not in Boulder. So last year, you can remember how difficult tickets were to get at the start of the season. And I know the start of the season were the highlight games with Nebraska, with CSU coming in. But later on, it got easier and easier to find tickets to go to games when CU was reeling. So don't think for a minute that, like you said, Nick, if you start losing, and I'm not saying 1 and 4, but if it is 1 and 4, I mean, even if you're 2 and 4, and I mean, what if those 2 losses are? What if it's Nebraska and North Dakota State, but they beat CSU?
What if it's Nebraska and CSU?
And you only beat and that's what I'm saying. Like, but what I'm saying is, do fans still show up because you beat CSU? Yeah. Like, is there still faith? I'm saying after that game, that's your 1 win that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just. Let's say you lose to CSU, then after that, do fans show up anymore because you lost to your in-state rival? I just don't know where it sits, how this fan base will react if they don't start off 3-0. It's really tough to tell.
Yeah, and this is more speaking from the Broncos fan base. I'm not sure if the CU fan base does the same thing, but he's lucky there's no decent backup quarterback because the most popular guy in Colorado was always the backup quarterback. Everyone always thinks he can play better than the starter. Ever since John Elway left, it was, and they were right the first time. Bubby Brister was better.
Here.
But it's always, I swear this guy. I remember my dad used to talk about Tom Brandstater. Remember that guy? He was a big third stringer in the early to mid 2000s. Just random guys like that. The amount of Kyle Sloter, and we love the idea of Kyle Sloter. But yeah, no, they're lucky they don't have a backup for fans to clamor for.
Bradley Van Pelt.
As the dude, one of my favorites. Everyone thought he should have gotten the nod, but they drafted Cutler instead.
That's just his own NFL career.
Yeah, Van Pelt had to become a receiver to try to stay in the NFL.
A tight end, he his own NFL career.
I'm sorry, Nick. You were. I think I cut you off. I couldn't hear you. Good.
No, I was ranting about BVP. He was a tight end. He screwed his own NFL career up by being obnoxiously narcissistic.
But every great athletic quarterback that plays for the Broncos converts to tight end and does well, right?
Oh yeah, it worked for Tebow.
If
he went on to the Mets.
If they decide to change in time, Tebow would have. I think Tebow, with his work ethic, if he didn't take that time to try and go play baseball and decided to go straight to tight end, I think he would have actually not been great. I'm not trying to say he would have been great, but I think he would have been good in a serviceable tight end because of his attitude, the way he approached his game, the way he worked out. But going to play baseball, losing those years, that was a very bad look on Tebow.
Yeah, no, you're probably right though. Look at Logan Thomas. He was a backup quarterback, athletic dude, and he just put on some weight and was a solid. I think he even had a Pro Bowl year once with Alex Smith, just dumping him the ball, pretending he's Travis Kelce. But yeah, no, I was thought if a team actually decided to build around Tebow, I think Tebow kind of ruined it for himself when he had the option to go to either Jacksonville or the Jets, and he chose the bigger market so he could spread his message as opposed to going. That Jacksonville team was Maurice Jones-Drew and Tim Tebow in an option offense. So they didn't have a bunch of receivers, but who cares? Tebow was going to miss anyway. That team was already kind of built for a guy like that. That could have been a lot of fun. But it's also one of those things, though, that we never got to see it go bad. So, it's kind of like the Beatles broke up, so we never saw them suck for 20 years like the Rolling Stones. It obviously he couldn't make it as a backup quarterback, but nobody ever thought he could anyway because he was always terrible in practice. It was only when he was in games that he managed to not look terrible.
Yeah, and that's why, like I said, I think he would have been a fine tight end if he had decided to go that route right away. Yeah, and I agree. He totally screwed himself. I mean, we don't need to go back too much with it, but yeah, he screwed himself.
No, yeah, thank God for Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he went to the Jets, and he decided the choice was wrong. He took the wrong path on that one.
He could have gone home.
At least to stay in the NFL, he took the wrong path on that one. I guess I should say.
But he's made so much money as a public figure, he's probably fine with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank you, ESPN, for the extra contract there. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Well, this has been this week's edition of Tebow Talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Thought I was gone, didn't you? Tebow. Sorry. All right. So this is a question I have, and Joe, I'm really gonna lean on you for this because
lean on me.
Understand the NBA.
When you're not strong.
And the Nuggets make a trade. And it was a legit straight trade. But then 4 other teams get involved. I don't know who's touched what players, what money, how that all made sense because it should have just been Denver and Charlotte.
Yeah.
And 4 other teams get involved. What is the NBA doing and why are they doing it this stupid?
It's just a funny, stupid little thing that happened. It's actually not that big of a deal, but it's kind of fun. I'm turning up my volume a little bit. Sorry for that little bleeping sound. But what had happened is the Nuggets set up the trade of 2 second-round picks and Reggie Jackson to the Charlotte Hornets for nothing, which creates a cash trade exception that helps you make another move later on. The Charlotte Hornets then added that second-round pick onto another trade that was attached to another trade that was attached to another trade. So basically, because Charlotte decided to move one of those second-round picks within the time span before they can actually report all of these trades officially, everything just got jumbled together. Like, I gotta look it up again now to see. Like, I think it was ended up being part of the Klay Thompson to the Mavericks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the Hornets have so much extra money and nobody good. What they're doing is just collecting a whole bunch of draft picks and buying out players. They've been doing it they did it to Reggie Jackson. That's how he came here. They've been doing it for guys forever. They did it for Kyle
And that's how he
Lowry.
ended up back there.
Exactly. And I guarantee they buy him out again. And he signs a vet minimum deal somewhere after he opted into his $5 million contract, which I think is exactly what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook with the Clippers. It's going to bring it back to that. But yeah, it should have just been that. So it's all these other things happened afterwards. And because the Charlotte Hornets moved one of the second-round picks the Nuggets gave them in the midst of all this, now the Nuggets are part of the biggest trade in history, 6 teams. But it's just a symptom of all these things happened over the course of a couple of weeks, and they just got tied together because it was easier that way, and they couldn't report it until a certain time, and now it's all kind of crazy.
Yeah, the Nuggets were the most insignificant part of the biggest trade in NBA history.
By far the most.
I do think that the Nuggets in this time and in this time frame were trying to hold on to see if they could do something as far as a sign and trade for Russell Westbrook. I think they were trying to figure something out as far as getting Westbrook here in that trade deal. With something. I'm not saying it was part of this deal, but I think that the way that it is all structured, like you said, Joe, that during that time frame, the Nuggets were working on something. And now that all these things and dominoes have fallen, the Nuggets are kind of stuck waiting to see what happens with Westbrook, if he's going to be released. There are so many things that are just out of the Nuggets' control, which is a really bad feeling for this Nuggets team, because it's felt like they've been in control of a lot of these players, destinies and the team's future. It's felt like they've been in control, and now a lot of this stuff hinges on what other teams do, and what players decide to do.
To an extent, yeah, but I think the Nuggets are really just playing hardball. They realize the Clippers are not going to keep Russell Westbrook pretty much no matter what. So they don't see a reason to trade any more assets to anybody else when they know that it's more likely that he just gets bought out or gets traded to Charlotte and bought out. Like, literally, that's one of the rumors, is that they're just going to trade him to Charlotte with some stuff similar to the Reggie Jackson deal, and they'll just buy him out. And he can sign here for a vet minimum deal after he gets his $4 or $5 million from the Clippers that'll be paid by Charlotte. Yeah, because they don't care. They're just tanking for players and getting draft picks, man. So the Nuggets are actually kind of playing some hardball here, because they had the deal sort of worked out, and now they realize they don't have to trade anything for Russell Westbrook. So why the fuck, in their minds, would they? So at this point, they're just sitting there waiting for the Clippers to do what everyone knows they're going to do, which is release basically they're betting on the fact that nobody else in the NBA is going to trade Charlotte anything for Russell Westbrook, because also he might not want to go to whoever's trading him, because he's talked to Jokic and he's talked to some guys, and he's, he wants to come here, is what the thought is. So we'll kind of see how it goes, and it could backfire on them for sure. That's what happens when you play hardball.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is the Nuggets aren't in control of this at all. Like, yeah, they might have. He might get bought out, he might not, he could stay, he could get traded.
He won't stay.
The only way that you have the control is to actually get him into the building via trade right now. That's the only way that he is going to be a Denver Nugget, because there's no one to say that some idiotic team out there goes in Colorado Rockies it and gives this dude a $75 million contract for 3 years. I mean, yeah, it would be stupid. I'm not saying it will happen, but there's nothing out there that says that some team won't just throw a bunch of money.
Basketball.
I was just going to say Bulls, but yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, even look at. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're throwing a bunch of money, but
Yeah, you're right though.
What if Westbrook looks at what Orlando is doing and wants to be part of building that into a champion?
Yeah, that's the risk. For sure.
Just because he gets released doesn't mean he's coming to the Nuggets, even though the talk is that if some team throws him a bunch of money and he sees a better opportunity, it's easy to go. The only way the Nuggets get a guy like Westbrook, and this is what we're, resolved to or whatever, is that Westbrook is the one guy left for the Nuggets.
I wouldn't say that. There's still some guys out there that are solid point guards. Like Tyus Jones is still available. He wants more playing time. He kind of wants to be a starter on a team, but he's still sitting there. So if he gets a chance to come here and maybe play a little bit for a 1-year contract, that might be doable. There's still a couple of guys out there, but they seem to like Russell Westbrook and what he brings, and Jokic, seems to like him for whatever reason. Like, okay, cool. Like chemistry with Jokic is enough for me. So that's got to be your number one guy. But there's some dudes you can still get. There's some trades you can make in season, especially because you're not going to want to keep Zeke Naji on the roster, I don't think, going into the playoffs. So you try to do something there. There'll be some guys that get bought out and get moved. So it's kind of the worst case scenario, but there's still options left in the worst case scenario. If they continue to do nothing, it could get rough real quick. But right now, there's still Tyus Jones. He's a solid point guard. He was a backup for John Morant when the Grizzlies were really good 2 years ago when the Nuggets won the championship. And he was part of the Marcus Smart deal, so he ended up in Washington last year, which was basketball purgatory. But he still played solid. So there's still a couple of guys they could get to back up point guard position. But I don't hate the idea of Westbrook. I just hope he doesn't take a lot of shots.
So let me ask a question then. It kind of leads me into this.
Yeah.
Can a big name personality fit in Denver? Yes, Westbrook and Joker get along. And yes, Joker's kind of made the blessing that the Nuggets can bring him in. But can a personality like that survive in a locker room like Denver's, where it's not big, boisterous personalities? This is a family unit. I mean, this is the team that gets together after each game, failing on 3.
Not Aaron Gordon.
Wow.
What? It's true. Don't you remember?
Don't you remember?
He missed the dinner, and so he wasn't invited back to the dinners during the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember.
It's not being mean. It's true.
No, that's just not where your head immediately goes when you say Aaron Gordon and family.
Yeah.
So we know what you meant. It was just like
going on right now.
Family meals together. I was like, Aaron Gordon got kicked out of the family meals because the Nuggets started to win.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I was like, ooh.
That's all it was, folks.
That's
a little bit. Yeah, we're on the same page.
You think I'm taking shots at AG when he's got one more year on the contract? No. He's due to get paid in Denver next year. I want him to stay here. I'm not taking low blows.
Oh, we know. It was a little close. It wasn't though. We know.
But let's work out those gloves a little bit.
I mean, what? No one can read between the lines.
It was just it could be misconstrued.
Yes.
But no, that
two things can be right at the same time.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Killer, easy.
That's absolutely
We're not looking at Columbus Blue Jacket this podcast, huh?
No, I don't see Zach By anywhere here. But honestly, Russell Westbrook though is actually a pretty solid locker room guy later in his career. He has seemingly, from what I've heard from his time with the Clippers and even with the Lakers, even though they weren't good, he was making way too much money there. It wasn't ever going to work out. But he did his best, especially off the bench, and played well and kind of brought some of that fire and that old, Russell Westbrookiness. Obviously just minus the ability to shoot the basketball from any distance.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Reeves had a lot of good stuff to say about him. A lot of his old teammates have had a lot of good stuff to say about him.
Yeah,
and I get what you're saying with the team atmosphere. He's that guy that you love on your team, but you hate to play against him. That's really who he is as a player. So for the Nuggets, I mean, it's not a bad pickup, but the one thing that we also are we're dancing around the bush on this whole thing is Jamal Murray's not signed. He's playing for Canada. What happens when he gets hurt in the Olympics?
In the Olympics.
What happens then? Like you're saying, Tyus Jones, he was a backup. At least Russell Westbrook has some legitimate starting experience and has been successful as a starter. Now, as of late, no, not as much.
No.
But he is a team guy, and if he buys into this team thing, I think he would fit in well with that in place of a Jamal Murray, because this whole contract thing for Jamal Murray is ridiculous. And you don't have anybody that's ready to step up into that role to be a starter.
No. I mean, you don't, but on the other hand, if it ends up happening, like that makes the decision for you, because before you had to choose between Porter and Gordon and you assumed Jamal was safe. But if Jamal feels like he needs to go somewhere else, then like, fuck you. At least you now have the flexibility to do some stuff with the team. But like replacing Jamal Murray is impossible. You can find guys to do some, it's going to be tough, but at least it doesn't put you in the position where you now have to make the wrong decision. Like the decision's made for you, and it's sad that it's made by a player that you thought was going to be here for maybe his whole career. But
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that void is going to be easy to fill because there's going to be a line out the door, ball arena of guys that are like, I want to be Joker's number 2.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of guys who would love to play with him.
For sure. You could bring in a couple of like cheaper guy, Lonzo Ball will be healthy in about 5 years.
But I also don't think that your point on losing Gordon. I mean, unless Gordon, but you don't have to lose either. When you look ahead at what's going to happen, the new TV deal was signed with the NBA. So obviously, you know where the cap is going up. Well, it can only be matched. It can be matched or go higher. They can't go any lower than where the TV deal as reported is. So when you look ahead to next year, Aaron Gordon, you can give him a slight pay raise. It depends on what Gordon wants to do in that case, because you can give him a slight pay raise and still keep him and not put yourself into that second apron either. If he stays at the same contract that he has right now, you get to keep him, and you're not worried about losing MPJ, or like you could, in theory, keep all 4 of these guys. You could keep Jamal, Jokic, MPJ, and Aaron Gordon for the next 4 years with where the salary cap is after this season and what it's going to go up to and where the aprons are at. You would not be tied into that second apron yet. Once again, that's if Gordon doesn't go and want a pay raise, which is possible. He might possibly want to go back to Orlando, a little homecoming for that.
Next to Paolo. All right, you heard it here first, folks. The Nuggets are going to keep everybody, and they're all going to get paid, and it's all going to be great.
They have the opportunity to. I did not put the Prophet stamp of approval on that. I just said that all things are possible.
But no, the
Prophet stamp of approval happens when I say Nuggets sweep the Lakers in 4. I mean, I can pull that up if you'd like.
Oh, we know it happened. It was great. But yeah, no, I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, if that's the case, then hell yeah. I would love that if we're all worrying about nothing and we can keep this core together. And then by the time everyone's getting paid, those young guys will have moved up. Somebody will be a damn shooting guard for this team. Hopefully it's Christian Brown, but we'll see. That's best possible case scenario. So fuck yeah.
You know what the best case scenario is?
Winning a championship?
No, Dario Saric learns how to watch his back.
Well, he was protecting his teammates back.
24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if you see Ivica Zubac and Dario Saric in a fucking bar and you decide to start a fight with either of them, I don't know what's wrong with you. So,
yeah, but
bless you.
Saric might want to learn some extra fighting skills, like know who's behind you.
Yeah, he's the one who got choked out.
He went night real fast.
And see you later.
He's a basketball player. He's not a wrestler. He doesn't know how to throw
Everybody's
people.
Watched MMA. You know not to give up the back. Come on. Everybody's watched UFC. They all know.
That's true. I've seen The Princess Bride. The easiest way to take out the big guy is jump on his back and choke him out.
I was going to say, speaking of MMA, Nick, You have any news on tomorrow, or should I just not even bring it up?
Yeah, my flight's at 2:55, and I get back in Denver at like 4.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know if you were still waiting around for an answer. You know, if all this hustle is for nothing.
No, I never got.
Okay, well there we go.
Yeah.
So back to basketball. Yeah, I just it's a bad look, but
It's a slightly bad look.
You're in the off
Get in there.
season.
He's willing to scuffle.
And yes, he went to his.
He's a fighter.
My thing is he went to his teammates, his friends' defense. And if you're going to be on the second unit, the second unit needs a little toughness, and that's kind of what I mentioned with Westbrook too in our last show. Is that you need a little toughness on this team.
Yeah,
there isn't enough of that grit, and so I'm glad you jumped in. I'm just not happy with the results.
You know what, though? Like, that kind of works out. Like, if someone needs to get choked out on the court, let's have it be the backup center guy and get their guy suspended for a lot longer. You know,
there you go.
You know, sometimes you gotta take one for the team.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan chirped from the bench, get the guy so pissed off, he goes after Dario.
Yeah,
Dario gets choked out, and Anthony Edwards is out for 5 straight games.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert punches him after you call him a bitch.
Oh, yeah, Gobert. Well, Gobert's an easy one. You don't need to try that hard to get Gobert to do something stupid.
Honestly, you want him in the game. You don't want him out.
Yeah, so Jamal could shoot over him.
Damn it, what was my question? Oh, why not just learn from the Yankees, dude?
What, lose a bunch of series in a row?
Kicked out of the game. Just let the fan get the guys kicked out of the game. Let him chirp for you. He was chirping so good they thought it was coming from the dugout.
That was a few years ago, wasn't it? No, that just happened again.
Did you guys hear the Aaron Judge story where he was talking about getting recognized down in Florida? Oh, dude, I heard literally today on the way home. I dropped my buddy off at the airport. So he's down in Florida getting groceries, and he's grabbing some fruit and shit. Guy looks over at him all, wide-eyed because, that's fucking Aaron Judge. And he walks over and he's like, "How are you here right now?" And he's like, "What do you mean? I'm just grocery shopping and stuff." And he's like, "I just saw you on TV playing in whatever." And Aaron Judge thinks about it and he realizes, this guy thinks I'm Aaron Gordon. Is the place he said is where I think it was when Aaron Gordon was in the offseason playing a game with like LeBron and a lot of those guys. Or maybe it was like a Nuggets playoff game or something. But yeah, it was clearly somewhere where the Nuggets were playing. And the guy's like, "But I just saw it." The guy's like, "This guy thinks I'm Aaron fucking Gordon."
That's awesome.
I like it.
See, and the one I was thinking about, I think was when Boone was it Boone who got tossed because the fan was chirping. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, that was this year.
No, that couldn't have been this year.
That was this year.
No way. That seemed like it was years ago. Oh,
no, it was this year.
It's at least 10 years.
Oh my god. Okay, cool.
So, it works out that I'm asking this question now, only because I'm in Cincinnati when it comes up. So, did you guys hear Joe Burrow's 18-week NFL plan?
Yep.
No. All right, let me hear it.
So Joe Burrow had this. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Okay.
That basically halfway through the season, you have your Pro Bowl. We all know there's going to be an 18th game anyway, so you might as well tack it on now. Give each team 2 bye weeks, and that will push the Super Bowl back to basically President's Day weekend. So now everybody has the day after. Well, most everybody has the day after the Super Bowl off now.
Ooh, okay.
So you add in that mid-season Pro Bowl. I mean, nobody's watching it anyway, so maybe that helps. The Pro Bowl becomes something.
Ooh, can we have a tournament in the Pro Bowl so we can have a mid-season tournament?
Yeah, we have a mid-season tournament. I don't know if they're gonna, there's obviously some things they have to do with the Pro Bowl about if they're gonna keep it in flag football, if they're gonna, do like baseball and let them walk it through or whatever. Or like basketball, and I don't know. I like the idea because like you said, it's inevitable. We're gonna get an 18th game at some point, and it seems like a good way to spark up not only the Pro Bowl, but make Super Bowl Sunday a little bit more fun.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, I think what they've started to do with the Pro Bowl in terms of like the weird little skills competitions and stuff is a good idea. They just need to do it better. They've done a really bad job of advertising it, of putting it together so that it makes sense to people. Like the 3-point contest makes sense. We know how it works. The points, you see them get racked up and you see how it goes. There's Eli Manning, Peyton Manning games fucking don't make any sense. It's lots of fun. It's stupid. And you see the joke interviews and all that. They could do a much better job with presenting it, with making it a legit competition, with advertising it better and showing you like, yeah, look, we have dodgeball and we have this and we have that. And it's actually going to be kind of fun. The quarterback competition, where they're throwing deep and stuff. Like, I think they have the right idea. They've just totally fucked it up the past few years they've tried. And I feel like if they have that, especially in like a mid-season type thing, that could be a lot of fun. You bring in some more older players to kind of coach some other teams and kind of make it, because at that point, who cares? Like, you're not going to ever have it be an actual football game, so don't even try. Even flag football feels like a chance for somebody to tear something. Keep doing some stupid shit and have some fun with it and let the guys have a Pro Bowl and get people to actually enjoy it for once. But they have to do better than what they've done. It feels like it's just been so lazy, honestly, for a long time. But if they put some effort into it, I think they could actually do a good job.
You guys are ridiculous to think that this is a good idea. I mean, like, come on. No. Oh, you're talking about the middle of the season. Okay, so let's give out middle of the season MVPs. Let's just give playoff bursts in the middle of the season, not and Pro Bowl bursts, because Pro Bowls still count towards these guys' contracts. All right. So let's talk about this and where their future contracts are going. So, I was a Pro Bowler last year, but in the last 8 weeks of the season, I did absolutely nothing. But I was a Pro Bowler. There's my $1 million bonus. Okay, let's talk about another reason why this is idiotic and Joe Burrow should stick to being a quarterback and study his playbook and worry about staying healthy, then think about how the NFL should schedule stuff. Oh, well, every team's going to have their week off then, like the other sports, but then we're going to send these guys here to play in the middle of the season where maybe our team is trying to get a new quarterback in the next week and we have no offensive linemen because 2 of them are in the Pro Bowl or they're as alternates or reserves because maybe that's their only shot. So you're a middling team who there's your guy who's going in. And so you're trying to install a whole new play system for the rest of the season because you have an opportunity. This is the most asinine idea that I've heard about doing in the middle of the season. And you mentioned people getting hurt. I mean, let's hand out the MVP at the middle of the season. Russell Wilson would have won it at one time then. He would have at least had a vote. Like, give me a freaking break. There is no way that this is a good idea. It's going to 18. Teams are going to have 2 bye weeks. But you can't ask these guys to go do football activities away from their team on a week that they have to prepare for the next week for a football game. Because even during those bye weeks, they still have stuff going on for at least 2 days or a day before they send off. And it depends on how crappy you are and how much of your coach is a dictator and how long you are in the building for. Like, there is no way this is going to fly with anybody. Could they do it? Yeah, but it would be a colossal disaster because you want to talk about opt-outs and getting oh my God, a freaking Pro Bowl quarterback, Baltimore Ravens.
Tyler Huntley, my guy.
Huntley? Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about Tyler Huntley being a Pro Bowl quarterback? How many other back? Drew Lock is going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback this year if that's the case.
Fuck it.
Justin Fields doesn't even need to be playing for the first 8 weeks to be a Pro Bowl quarterback to have a chance to make it. This is not going to work. You're trying to fly these guys from their facilities all the way to somewhere else. No. What if you're in the hunt? Why are you gonna send Patrick Mahomes to go do anything in the middle of the season?
How many times has Patrick Mahomes actually gone and done the Pro Bowl anyway? Very little. So I wouldn't expect that to happen anyway.
Well, I mean, 3 of his 4 years, he's been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
So
I was going to say, so he hasn't been able to go because he's also been in a playoff run. So he's been elected. There's nothing to say he wouldn't go. But you think, like I said, you think Tyler Huntley is a joke about being a Pro Bowl quarterback because of all the opt-outs. Just wait. Just freaking wait. Like,
we'll get Tyler Huntley, we'll get Geno Smith, we'll get Drew Lock.
No, Geno Smith. In Seattle, they think they're in the hunt, so they're not going to send anybody, or those guys aren't going to go. Can you imagine how many times they're strongly discouraged from going to the Pro Bowl? Like, this is going to turn into reserves, and it's going to be on teams that.
Battle of the backup sounds great. I'm in.
Yeah, no. It's a terrible idea. It's going 18 weeks. You're going to have 2 bye weeks. And guess what? Even with the 18 weeks and the 2 bye weeks, you still get the Pro Bowl around President's Day if you line it up right. You can still do that. It might be
I know.
around. What?
Not the Pro Bowl.
Or the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Super Bowl will still be around. Pro Bowl. Or Super Bowl will still be around for that President's Day weekend, or can be on that President's Day weekend, as long as you give the right break in between in the playoffs. And that could also mean adding one more game for each division. Excuse me.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. By the way, you're watching Undrafted Uncensored on whatever platform you're on right now. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I meant to say thank you to everybody before Nick and Joe decided that a Pro Bowl in the middle of a season was as good of an idea as the NBA in-season tournament.
No, I'd say they're about as good of ideas. They're both not great.
Does it? Only sport that doesn't do it is the NFL.
I can just see the NFL.
Because you can't do it. You only have 18 weeks, 17 games. You can't do it in the middle of the season.
I think they're trying to make the Pro Bowl relevant. I don't necessarily think it's that good of an idea. I just feel like that's what I could totally see them trying to do that. And I would enjoy watching some crazy shit like that. Honestly, the people competing, though, I don't care that much. I'm happy to watch backups do it. That sounds actually sometimes more fun because I follow, random little NFL players, especially playing a lot of Madden, doing rebuilds and shit. But that's me. Very few people would enjoy that as much as I would, of seeing Drew Lock and Geno Smith and Gardner Minshew all battle it out in a quarterback competition.
No, the Raiders wouldn't let Minshew go.
Bo Nix doesn't go, so we send fucking Zach Wilson and his mom.
He's engaged.
Zach Wilson's mom?
I said he.
I know. But yeah, no, I feel like they are going to try to do something else with the Pro Bowl and try to move it around somewhere to where people will almost have to watch it is, I think, more of the way they'll go. Whether they do it in the middle of the season, probably not. I could see them trying something like that. But yeah, choosing the Pro Bowlers like that would be, that would be tough because the NFL has never done that before. I don't know if that's, that makes sense. Every other sport does it. But
I mean,
I don't know. I think they might try to do it again before the Super Bowl but they do it before the Super Bowl now. I don't know. They're going to try to do something with it to make people care. Because that's the one place where they fail. Sorry, what?
All of those other sports have 80-plus games.
And they only have 18 in the NFL. 17.
Yes, and they only play once a week for a reason. Hockey plays, but that's what's different. These sports play every other day. Sometimes, every other day. Sometimes they play every day. Football is not built that way.
On the body, though. They're just crazy.
Hockey is tough on the body, but you're also not putting 21 guys or 22 guys out there at one time.
Yeah, well, I mean,
at one time, you're putting 10, 12 technically because the goaltenders, but whatever. And they're switching every 3, 4, not even 3 or 4 minutes, 2 minutes.
It gets eyes on it gets eyes on the Pro Bowl. It gets some of these guys to participate.
It gets eyes on Tyler Huntley.
I don't know. I'm not saying you have to do a tackle football game. There's other ways around it.
They're still not going to show up for flag football, or like who's going to like the 100-yard dash where Gerald Green always dominated. Like who is gonna send anyone to go run a 100-yard dash and pull a hamstring in week 9?
We'll bring in free agent out of the league receiver John Ross.
I don't know. All
Yeah,
right.
congratulations, Josh Rosen. You made a Pro Bowl.
Hell yeah. Check it
Speaking
out,
of-
Pro Bowl. We got Tyler Huntley completes a pass to Josh Reynolds.
Speaking of congratulations, Ryan McMahon finally gets his due. And Ryan Mack is going to represent the Colorado Rockies at the All-Star game. Colin, I know this is the whole, oh, no, he's just the lone representative. He's just getting it because of technicality. No, Ryan Mack actually deserves it. Look at his numbers.
No, Ryan Mack's been great. It's
Oh.
just,
No,
it's just
I'm the
serious.
one that always says that.
I had
Colin's
always-
usually pretty pro someone going into the All-Star game. I'm the one that makes fun of it because
Well, Colin,
somebody
usually anything pro Rockies, Colin's always got to try and be Debbie Downer with me. And I had this fight in my head all week. And he's like, no, I love it. It's great. Dick.
No, I last year Elias Diaz won me $500.
fuck yeah.
I mean, sure, like it's got to be somebody, and Rymack deserves it, especially after Tovar's fall off in the last. His 0 for 30 stretch was.
Oh, dude.
What the hell happened there? Maybe I was right about him, Mr.
Yeah.
Flash in the Pan. And then you have Nolan Jones who got hurt. I fully believe Nolan Jones would have been the guy if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Yeah.
That would have gone this year.
Best
But
Nolan the Rockies have had since 2018.
best Nolan ever.
They got some good arms out there right now.
And you see O'Doyle Rules throwing people out at home, and
O'Doyle
and then Cal Quantrill being the reason why he was dropped, deciding to cut stuff off.
Everyone's favorite
guys,
orange liqueur, Cointreau.
Feltner not being able to catch the ball back from the catcher. Ellie De La Cruz deciding that he's just fast as hell, so it doesn't matter if you're trying to do anything. He's just going to steal second. This team is
Really Mays
Speaking of
Hayes.
that, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I was about to. I have obviously I'm in Cincinnati. I've done a couple hits. I've taken some pictures, bought some merchandise. I've gone to the Reds games last 2 nights against the Rockies, or last 2 days. Ellie De La Cruz is not as good as I thought he was at the plate. Dude's hitting 240.
yeah.
He's hitting 240. You know why he's good? Because he's a spark plug and he's fast. He's basically the new generation version of Ricky Henderson. Once I get on base, I'm in scoring position.
Well, Ricky and
Credits to you. Dude's fast. Dude's stupid fast.
Isn't that what Kaz Matsui
Get a
used to
base
do
running.
for the 07 Rockies?
What?
Isn't that what Kaz Matsui used to do for the 07 Rockies? Just be that fast guy that gets on base?
Yeah,
Or is
but
De
not-
La Cruz faster?
not as
De La
much.
Cruz is a different.
De La
guy.
Cruz is a whole different
I
animal.
don't watch,
But I was watching him swing the other night. I've had good seats the last 2 nights to watch him swing, and well, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. There's something in his swing that isn't that impressive. He has good bat speed, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe if he's just in a funk right now, I wasn't that impressed.
Well, I mean, maybe you caught him in a funk, but you say
Maybe.
when you said Ricky Henderson, I think you're talking about Yankees Ricky Henderson, because Athletics Ricky Henderson was phenomenal. Like
Yes.
he was a much better hitter when he went to the Yankees, and that's a lot to do on Steinbrenner too, and his bad talk about him and kind of forcing him to go out there and calling him out. There was a lot of stuff going on with Yankees Ricky that I think really hurt his career arc. But De La Cruz, I guess I can see what you're getting at, but this is also a different brand of baseball. And De La Cruz, you talked about his bat speed. He has the pop to hit home runs. I mean, what's he going to do? Steal 60 and hit 40? 35? Like that's what you're talking about
Those
with
aren't
him,
bad
which
numbers,
which is Ricky Henderson, Oakland A's
okay.
esque. So yeah, the average isn't there, but this is also a different time in baseball where average isn't the thing. It's also
that's
about
right.
getting on base, and he's
Dude, he's a
good
monster.
at short, and he's good at short.
Yeah,
he's not one of those like, oh, I'm a really good athlete. No, he's damn.
No, I'll give credit where credit's due. The dude's amazing over there at short. I was watching him swing and I wasn't impressed with his swing.
And that's fair. I mean, there could be something in the swing. I haven't looked at it like you have. I just think it's today's baseball that 240 and you're that fast. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't
I
matter.
get what you're saying. I mean, that top of that Reds order is stupid dangerous right now.
It reminds me of what the Rockies lineup was, in all honesty, when we talk about October. It does. Like, who the hell are you not going to throw to?
Yeah.
And, Nick, if you want someone to argue with you about Ryan McMahon, I'm happy to do so and just tell you that he doesn't deserve to be there. Just, because you said you had all that stuff ready. I'm happy to be that guy and just tell you that he's bad. I couldn't tell you what position he plays, but I can tell you he's bad.
I'll keep in the holster for now.
I mean, we can argue about why the Rockies should be trading McMahon.
I 100% agree.
Probably should, yeah. If he's
what
good,
else we should do?
We can argue with anyone else who says no, keep him, whatever.
No, we should trade him, and we should also jump into the victory formation.
You only get one. They kept Curly.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Good, just kind of winging it.
I mean, Nick is in a different area code, so that is all right. And man, this victory formation is 2 weeks overdue, so we got to jump into it and get some picks because there are a lot of things to pick this week with the All-Star game coming up. One of us went 0 for 4, one of us went 1 for 3, and the other one went 2 and 3. How does that math add up? You'll figure it out in 1 second. Well, we start things off with the one we all lost. That would be Mexico versus Ecuador, which ended in a draw. And Mexico was eliminated with that draw.
And it was
to Ecuador 0-0. So we all lost that one. Sunday night baseball was the Rangers versus the Orioles.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one.
The Rangers went into Baltimore and hung 11 on the Orioles, so Nick and Joe were incorrect.
Yeah.
We move on to the Sky versus the Dream. The Sky went down to Atlanta and did some hot things at plus 105 underdogs. They won. That means Nick gets his first win.
Spoiler
alert. Then we move to the fourth and final pick'em, which was Spain versus Germany. Now Spain ended up winning this game, but it was in extra time, which means that the draw hit, and Nick hit the draw on that one. Now, who the hell went 2 for 3? Well, you see, we didn't do a pick'em last week, and you know what's happening on Sunday night? It was Sunday night baseball, and it was Red Sox versus Yankees. Therefore, we all know that Nick was choosing the Yankees, so he's getting the automatic L and the minus 10 for choosing the Yankees without even a pick'em against the Red Sox.
All right.
I'm not giving myself the automatic win because do remember I did talk crap about the Yankees losing the series against the Red Sox.
That makes
I'm just docking Nick an automatic $10 because he was going to take the Yankees.
Wow. Wow. And with that.
And that ends the segment. Thanks, folks.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So, in all actuality, I did not dock Nick $10, even though he would have picked the Yankees, and we all know it because he talked about it beforehand and how they were going to come back and win a series. I still don't think they've won one yet. Have they, Nick? Okay, cool. On the silence speaks in volumes. But Nick is the big winner of the week, winning at $32. He just moves a little bit behind me in third at $344.64. I was in second, losing $6.48, dropping me to $374.98. Joe lost all four, but he's still over $400, almost to his magical 420 number at $419.83. Let's get into this week's picks. Well, there's no Sunday night baseball, so Nick and nobody could do their research. Not like Nick ever looks at it ahead of time anyways. So I just chose the best game on the docket. That's the Braves versus the Padres. Braves 51-41 this season. Padres 49-47. Nick, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bravos.
Nick is sticking with the Braves, even though I don't think they treated him well last time, as he chops it up. Joe, who you got?
I don't know. Yeah, let's take the Braves. Sure.
Joe is taking the Braves. I'm taking the Padres at home, especially before the All-Star game. Get that home cooking ready.
Even though I didn't look it up till just now, it's Chris Sale against Dylan Cease.
That's gonna be a good game.
That's
Gonna
gonna
be a really good game. I just picked not the best two records, but there were some other games. It was almost the Rangers and Astros.
He might be the
that I almost chose.
Good thing we got some money on this game now. Good reason to watch it.
Yeah, that's real bets with fake money does for you. Gives you reason to watch games you normally wouldn't. Well, we moved to the All-Star game. Who are you picking, the American League or National League, Joe?
Well, I mean, we all know that I'm overly familiar with both. You know, let's do America. Fuck yeah.
I'm going to pick the National League to go on their first winning streak in a while. So let them win this game in Texas. Nick, who you got?
I'm going to go American.
Fuck yeah.
All right. The best one of all. Choose your batter. Home Run Derby.
Polar Bear.
Pete Alonso, Alec Baum, Bobby Wood Jr., Marcelo Zuna, Jose Ramirez, Adolis Garcia, and Teoscar Hernandez. Oh man.
Wait, Aaron Judge isn't doing it?
Nope. I just listed them off. There's a lot of guys. No Shohei. No lot of guys. I am gonna go Jose Ramirez. Nick.
Polar Bear.
Did you say Gunner?
No, Polar Bear.
A Polar Bear. Okay, sorry. Polar Bear. Pete. Nick, it goes Pete Alonso. All right, so you can choose Joe. Gunnar Henderson.
Thank you. I was going to say.
Alec Baum, Philadelphia. Bobby Wood Jr., Kansas City. Marcelo Zuna, Atlanta. Adolis Garcia, Texas. Oscar Hernandez, Los Angeles Dodgers.
I don't really know most of those people, so let's go with we're just gonna go by name alone. Bobby's gonna lay the wood, Junior.
Bobby Witt Jr. All right.
Know nothing about him.
I kind of want to choose Adolis, but yeah, just because it's in Texas.
So would Teoscar though.
He's been on
a hot bat lately.
I don't trust that going into the Derby, though. Guys, change it. But that's why none of us picked him. All right, we move on to our WNBA.
Yeah, that's why I didn't pick him.
It is the Sparks at 5-17 versus the Wings at 5-18. Nick, who you got?
Sparks.
Oh, la la. Joe, who you got? Sparks or Wings?
Well, in Pokemon, electricity beats birds and it creates sparks, so let's go with that.
Well, I think the Wings are on a freaking dragon, so screw your sparks, give me the Wings.
That's fair. Dragons do resist electricity.
See, I don't even do that Pokemon stuff, and I know this. And we move on to Wimbledon, the final. Alcaraz, where's Djokovic?
Alcatraz and Joker.
Alcaraz.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Arkham Asylum.
I've heard it both ways.
Not Alcatraz. Or Joe, who you got?
I think Alcaraz won last time, so I feel like Djokovic is pissed off. He plays pretty good pissed off, but he's kind of getting old. I don't know. Yeah, fuck it. Let's stick with the Serbia. I'm rooting for Serbia in the Olympics, so we'll take the Serbian in the tennis tournament, whichever one it is.
I am also going with Novak. Nick? Oh, I had already typed my name in there. All right. Nick, who you got?
I'll be the oddball. I'll go with Alcatraz.
Alcaraz.
The Birdman, if you will.
Yes.
You could have kept it with all the birds, but he decided not to. And that is our victory formation for this week as we send it off into space.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you.
That seems excessive. The episode's pretty good. We don't need to like shoot it off into space. We just post it.
The song is called Into Space. So
Yeah.
I know.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you guys. That was actually a lot of fun. From Cincinnati, for Colin Zanker, who's in Denver, Joe Goodwin, who's also in Denver. I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been Undrafted Uncensored. Tune into all our socials, e5280sports.com. Thanks to Michael Spillin and everybody over at E5280 Sports for hosting us. Remember to share, like, love. All the socials are there. We have them all now. So you can't say we can't find you anymore because you can find us.
We're there. We're not unlisted. We're just undrafted.
And uncensored. And we're on to Cincinnati.
We're still available, so come find us too.
Bye, everybody.